Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for Mahou Shoujo Madoka Magica Season 1, Episode 12. This is the finale. We do have a movie to watch after this, so it's not the end, but it is at least the end for the show. So, um, uh, aside from movie, just these shorter episodes. You guys get it. Anyway. um, so I've already decided that I'm replacing this show with the second part of Doctor Stone that's coming out because I've already watched part one. I want to watch part two. So that's what's going to be replacing this once I'm done with this. Normally there is a poll, but there actually is a poll going on right at this moment if you guys want to help vote for a show that's replacing Oshinoko, because Oshinoko is ending somewhat soon for me too. So you can check out, if I forget to put the link in the, I'll try to remember to put the link in the description, but you can check out my Patreon, and if you scroll through my Patreon, you should be able to find the poll on there. It's free to vote for it, so you guys can vote for it if you want. Just make an account or sign into one if you already have it, and vote. No paying required or anything. Help me decide what I watch next for that slot. Since I'm not doing one for this slot, gives you a chance to participate and make a choice. So, and once I finish, it'll probably be, like 12 episodes or something, will be the second part of Doctor Stone. There will be a poll for replacing that slot after that. So, yeah, check all that out if you're interested. The links will be in the description. Anyway, sorry for that whole spiel. I just wanted to mention it. Last episode, we had some, just the idea that if poor Akemi just gives up in this situation, she's kind of in a catch. Either she just has to repeat the timeline again, adding on to the karmic burden of Madoka, or she needs to give up, but giving up essentially means being taken over by grief. But I believe we had Madoka showing up at the very end. Will she make this wish? What will her wish be? Or will somehow she be interrupted again in some way? I'm really curious how this 12 episode anime at least ends, and then what the movie's about as well. So, very interesting stuff. But the idea that in Kyubei's homeworld, emotions are considered a mental disorder, that's pretty crazy too. Just like a very few are born with them. But anyway, yeah, fascinating stuff. I cannot wait to watch this. So let's just start. We're gonna start here, guys, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Yep. I wonder if it's going to be left to our interpretation of what the wish is. Hmm. Hmm. That's a line. Oh, shit. Damn. Oh, what? Holy shit, what is this gonna be? Damn. Oh shit. Are we not getting an opening? Finale, my very best friend. Oh shit. I was gonna save my Patreon speech for the opening, so that way I didn't waste it in the beginning. Mommy? What? What? As a concept, a principle. What? Damn. Oh. Full steam ahead. Hmm. Damn. The last episode, she's finally a magical girl. That's kind of crazy, too. I love it, though. So how strong is she gonna be? Whoa, it's a bow! I thought it was a staff! Or maybe it's both. Jeez. What is happening? Oh, is this another? Oh, she's so young. At least she looks so young. Is this gonna cure her? Whoa! Man, she is like a god. Damn. The whole thing went away. So did she just turn her back into a person, then? She didn't die, right? That'd be some shit. Madoka's just going around killing all the magical girls. I hope that they keep like passing out right after. Or maybe they are dying and she's just making sure they don't become a witch in their death. Damn, I think that is what's happening. All the way back in time too, huh? It did say all throughout time. Man, the time travel, like, oh. So she didn't even really have to fight the Walpurgis because she stopped the Walpurgis from existing in the first place, right? Is that what just happened? She is so powerful. Oh shit, wait, where are we? What? Akemi? What? Universe is realigning itself. What the heck? Damn. What? Makes sense. It all balances out. Okay, let's destroy Cubase's universe and make ours full of hope. Oh my god. That's terrifying. She's like on the moon watching what's happening to the Earth or something. Oh. I don't know what this means. Whoa. Shit. Just that same move again? What is happening? Hmm. Damn. She's just like an energy source preventing witches. Fortunately, it's not about reward. Hmm. Oh. She can. She, like, was only told before, but now that she has this power, she knows. Best friend. I don't know why that would be naked and laid bare within the universe, I suppose, but just trying to ignore it. It's a great story. My very best friend. No. What's the movie gonna be about? Oh, okay. Maybe the only person. Damn. She became Magical Girl just long enough to become the universe. She's like, I got shit to do, see ya. No. Madoka seems at peace with her choice, though. Like, I know Akemi doesn't seem too happy about it, but... It is sad. Oh. Hmm. Playing for just 4 people, but it seems like they're like contestants in some way or something. He's in number 25. Aww. Damn. Hmm. Shut up, I'm listening. No. Interesting. Uh, it told me. Aw, Psycho. Damn. Hmm. Oh, and now he's on a stage in front of a lot of people. Hmm. What is that? Oh, is that Kyoko? Oh. Hmm. Oh. Interesting. Does she remember? Who? Who is that? Yep. Fortunately, she bears. That is rough for her being the only one to know, too. How does this kid know? Hmm. She's a concept. But she's not supposed to be known, right? Oh, that's... Damn it. That's... That's... That's her brother. I forgot. Shit. I didn't recognize it first. I'm sorry. So somehow the kid still remembers? But I don't think the parents do. Interesting. Invisible friend. Oh, that's so sad. Oh. Kinda. It's sad that her parents don't even know her. Yeah. Damn. Aw. Shit. Interesting. So Kyubey doesn't remember either. Damn, that would suck if you're like years later. So what is she feeding Kyubey? Hmm. Yeah. So the incubators work completely differently now. Race. Huh. Just catching them all. Hmm. So how are they different? I mean, I guess maybe they're not. Huh. So maybe they're not magical girls turning into witches, but they're still entities that are feeding on humanity. Damn. Hmm. Okay. Shit. What an interesting ending. Huh. So I wonder if the movie will have some kind of like big threat that Madoka might have to appear again for, or what the movie could be about, you know? Obviously don't answer. I want to wait and find out, but yeah, man. Okay, so Madoka's wish was just no more witches, past, future, present, just do away with all of them, you know? And it's really interesting because it almost feels like some of the choices and things that happened stayed, right? Like with Madoka and Sayaka, it almost seems like Madoka could have rewritten it so Sayaka was alive still, right? And what happened to her never happened. But I think that Madoka kept it that way because she believed that's what Sayaka wanted, so that way Sayaka's wish would still be intact, because she said, like, I think I still agree with your wish, you know? So, Kamijo still had his, you know, hands healed, and he recovered and everything, and was able to play the violin still. Oh, we got some after credits. What is this? Don't forget, always somewhere someone is fighting for you, as long as you remember her. Shit. I'll go back. Frickin' Akemi just... really interesting. Whoa. Those are different wings than we saw before. They're almost witchy. Oh. Interesting. Those wings are crazy. Okay. Is that a hint at maybe some shit that's gonna go down in the movie? I don't know. Very interesting, though. Cool. That is it, guys, for episode 12, and that is it for season 1. We'll begin to the movie next week. I did want to go back just real fast. I don't know why I wasn't able to read it. I'm just a slow reader. I apologize for that. Don't forget, always somewhere someone is fighting for you. As long as you remember her, you are not alone. Cool. Alright, so, yeah. Madoka's wish, annihilate all witches. What I was saying about Sayaka, right there before that ending bit distracted me, was I'm pretty sure they kept Sayaka's wish the way it was, which means that the thing still happened with Hitomi, which means that Sayaka still went on a downward spiral and still, like, vanished, I guess. That's what they were saying when it cut to Kyoko, Mami, and Akemi, right? Is that she just vanished. So basically, the second she became a witch, did Madoka just erase her, so that way her wish still came true, but there wasn't a witch around, you know? That's kind of the vibe that I got, but let me know if I got that wrong, you know? So, because if she reverted everything Sayaka did, Sayaka would probably be alive, but Kamijo would probably, you know, have his hands be hurt forever, right? So yeah. Anyway, with that, we had Madoka, like, going and seemingly at the moment a... See, what's kind of confusing to me is it seems like at the moment that a magical girl was about to become a witch, she like took that darkness away from them, right? And then their crystal, like, broke, so I think they still died. Like, they were still, like... I don't think they just went on living as, like, a normal person or something after that, but I think it's just she stopped them from becoming witches, giving into that despair, and took all that despair onto herself, which Kyubey was saying it was like, you know, obviously it's kind of like equivalent exchange from FMAB, where for every bit of hope, there's also equal amounts of despair, right? And so she became this giant beacon of hope that, as Kyubey said, was strong enough to create a universe, but there was also enough despair built up to destroy a universe. And it seems like she was just managing that and fighting it and, like, holding it back. I don't know, I guess maybe that's a constant thing she has to do, like, because she just became, like, a concept. But also, it's really interesting that then the universe seemed to have been rewritten. So if everything was rewritten to the point where witches didn't exist, and instead there were these wraiths, and their whole system was different, and Kyubey's whole system was different, then it's not that all of the sudden, like, Magica Girl stopped being this way and started being this way, or witches stopped existing and now race existed, right? It's like, it's always been that race existed. So what was the point of going around to all of the magical girls and cleansing the darkness within their gems and stuff? if then she just rewrote it so that way it sounds like darkness doesn't build up in the gems anymore, right? Like that's the gist that I got. So there is still an enemy in the world that needs to be fought, but the people that fight it, these Magica girls, don't have to like taint their own souls to do it. I think anyway, that's the vibe I got. Granted, we didn't see anyone else fighting them other than Akemi, so unless there's still these wraiths in this world and Akemi is the only one fighting them because she's the only one that remembers and still has power, I guess it could be something like that, but it seems like Kyubey is still there doing his thing, so that means he's still giving people powers, it seems. But instead, he's just like eating these little like blob, like these little cubes of darkness, and stuff like that, rather than the grief seeds and stuff like that. So definitely really interesting. And I mean, I guess maybe that's where there's like a equal amount of hope to darkness. I mean, yeah, hope to despair and stuff like that. So maybe Madoka wasn't able to just create like a purely peaceful world, but she was able to redefine the way that the whole magical girl system worked. And even like, and I guess the give and take, it's like, oh, why wasn't it like this from the start, you know? But Kyubey said the way that it was before with Akemi's story to Kyubey is if the world did work that way, it would be much more convenient for them, and they probably would have taken that path, you know, because they're emotionless, they don't care, and all that. So, which also means that potentially there could have been another way. Like, I wonder if there could have been a way that Kyubey's race decided to do it the way that Madoka made it, if they weren't so like trying to be as efficient, right? So I don't know. I could be wrong, but yeah. So it seems like the race are a manifestation. The way that Akemi said is like people still have like hate and strife and stuff like that, and the race are like a manifestation of that. Is that to say that? I guess I'm just curious. Well, the thing is Kyubey has been around since forever, right? So it's hard to talk about a time before Kyubey. I guess I was just thinking about like if witches didn't exist, it's the chicken and the egg debate, right? Like what came first, witches or magical girls? Did Kyubey come here and make a magical girl, and the magical girl just had nothing to fight and just slowly built up some corruption over time, became a witch, and then made other magical girls to fight that witch, and then they became witches, and and then the cycle started? Is that how it began? Or did somehow Kyubey come here and make a witch, and then make a magical girl, and then make them fight, right? And start this whole thing? Like, I guess I wonder how all that started, because if these wraiths are a manifestation of humanity's, like, despair, right? Then before Kyubey, what existed? Did wraiths exist before Kyubey came here and, like, started the whole witch thing? Or did witches somehow exist before Kyubey came here? But like I said, it's hard to talk about before Kyubey came here because he said they have been interfering with our species since, like, the beginning, So it's like, well, shit, I guess we don't really know. But it's just interesting that, like, Kyubey is still here doing this race. Like, it's just interesting that this race stuff still exists, even with Madoka trying to fight it off. But I guess, like I said, there's an equal amount of... She can't just get rid of all the despair, right? Like, it still exists and it's manifesting in a certain way. It's just really interesting to talk about, but it's also really difficult from a time travel aspect of thinking about Madoka. Like, obviously there's things you just have to let slide. Like Madoka rewriting so many things. If Madoka went back to, like, Egyptian times where we saw her at one point and she seemed to have stopped someone from turning into a witch, like, wouldn't that have a big chain reaction of, like, then whoever fought that witch wouldn't have fought it, and then that would cause, like, just massive ripples down the timeline. But I guess that's where, like, the whole story was rewritten anyway. But somehow the brother still had, like, some memories of Madoka, and the mother still felt like like the world still turned out almost the same, obviously, except for the fact that Madoka isn't in it, right? But you would think there'd be like, who knows, maybe if because Cube said that the whole witches and magical girl system was like down to the fundamental core and like it powered like the evolution of our species and everything to the technological level we're at now. So either Madoka found a way to use her energy to still spark that level of evolution in humanity, so that way around the same timeline of Akemi, it's still around the same technological advancement level, right? And they're not like, as Cube said, still living in caves, right? Or Cube was just wrong, and the needing the witches and magical girls wasn't needed for humanity to progress, which I did talk about how like we don't have that in our world. Well, as far as I know, maybe it's a secret, most people don't know as well, but anyway, regardless, it's all really fascinating to think about, and you can get into like the time travel rules and be like, oh well, she created like a paradox, like if she stopped something from having her own birth and then she was never born, then how can she go into the future and you know make this choice and make this wish and everything? Instead she just like became a concept of this universe, which I guess is just beyond time, like basically Cube's like, are you planning to become a god? That's kind of a cool line. But yeah, pretty crazy stuff. I have no idea what the movie is going to be about. I mean, we have Akemi who's still around fighting Wraiths. Like, what's going on with that? We could see more of that. Could there be like a big threat that threatens things and Madoka shows up, or is the movie just not like no Madoka at all, other than maybe like talking about her and thinking about her? I have no idea. I'm really curious to. I know I've already said it like 3 times. I apologize for kind of repeating myself. But I'm really excited to watch it and find out. So overall, I mean, I could do this after the movie, but sometimes after movies, since they're long, I don't like to talk as much. So overall, the show as a whole, I'll talk about that here. I loved it. It's really crazy that we have like this power system in the show. Most anime, when you introduce a power system, you give the main character like a power within that system, But Madoka went the whole show up until the last episode where she had to take it. There were moments where she almost took it, but got interrupted by friends and the whole story of Akemi, my very best friend and everything. Like, we start the show with Sayaka and Hitomi, and we're thinking, oh, these two are her best friends. She spends a lot of time with Sayaka. She shared this time as a magical girl and all that, and sure, things went downhill with Sayaka, but and then they met Mommy and all that, but Akemi was just kind of like this standoffish girl that showed up, but then you start learning the story, and even Madoka eventually learns everything once she takes the power and can see all the universes and see what Akemi has done, and just instant, like, yeah, you're my best friend. And it's like, it changes the dynamic of the show so much. Like, if I were to rewatch this show, like, seeing Akemi and knowing what she's doing and everything, I feel like it would be so impactful. So I do look forward to a rewatch or maybe watching some reactions of this show or whatnot. But yeah, really the witch design being this weird, like, kaleidoscopic, but like obviously like the art style is even like different, and it's very like psychedelic and trippy, like just interesting. And it seems to be in a way a manifestation. Like, we had like people playing the violin in Sayaka's. It seems like a somewhat of a manifestation of your despair. It makes me wonder, some of the early witches we fought, like, what was their story, and could you like kind of extrapolate what their story was based on like looking back at those scenes and really analyzing their like witch world that they were in and fought in and everything. I wonder if you could kind of figure out what caused that magical girl despair before she turned into a witch, right? Kind of interesting, like, things to think about on a rewatch and all that. But yeah, man, just very I just as the older I get, the more I just feel bad for these kids in these shows given these rough fates. And these kids are so young. I don't know how old they are, but they look young, I can't tell if they're in middle school or high school, but either way, they are they are very young and being put through this. And it sucks that Cube, the way that they are is just like, jeez, my headset just said battery level low and it scared the shit out of me. I wasn't expecting anything to play through my headphones while I'm talking. But Cube being like, just talking about how we have to take these kids when they're at this age because this is when they're most emotionally unstable, and this is what's going to provide us with the most power to the universe. And the fact that this story, like the reason this power system exists, the reason why the witches exist, the reason why Cube is here, is to try to stop entropy, stop this like decaying of the universe. So we have to find a way to fuel the universe, and we do it by just destroying young girls' lives. And it's just, they're just cattle to them, farming them for fuel for the universe. And it's really tragic. And it was such a compelling story having Cube be this like race of emotional and like beings, and they just cannot comprehend why it upsets us. It's like, there's billions of you guys. What does it matter if some of you die so that way the universe can keep on ticking? And someday you'll come out into space and you'll join us, and you'll be a part of this universe too that won't end because of the sacrifices you guys made. And it's like, sure, when you think about it that way, but then you get into the individual lives of these girls that are being torn apart and seeing it in front of you, and it's just sad and tragic. So it was just a really compelling idea for a story, and it was fascinating and interesting. So I cannot wait to see the movie, see how that turns out, and I will catch you guys there. I think that's going to be it for me. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon if you want to see more. You'll be able to catch the movie on there right away, and then also the first episode of Dr. Stone season 4 part 2, I believe is what we're on. So yeah, check all that out, or also vote in the poll and just keep an eye out if Dr. Stone isn't your show. Keep an eye out for other shows, or recommend other shows for me that I can throw on my polls, and maybe one of them will win, and I'll see you guys again. But thank you guys so much for all the support, and a lot of you guys commented throughout and helped me with some things throughout the show. There's a lot of shows that I watch where I just don't even get any comments on them, so it's been a lot of good support from you guys, and I really appreciate it. So yeah, links in the description to all that stuff should be popping up on the screen, and I'll see you guys in my future reactions. Bye-bye.